Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tanya. I am a professional video editor and videographer living in Los Angeles. I make videos on life philosophy, travel, and content creation. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to get notified when I come out with future videos. Speaking of living in Los Angeles, I thought it would be fun to take you along with me during my week and see what I spend in a week. Los Angeles, as you know, is one of the most expensive cities in the country. I like these types of videos because I love to see how people spend their money at different ages and different regions of the country. So I thought it'd be fun to create a video like that. So without further ado, let's get on with my week and see what I spend. Before we get started on the week's daily spending, I want to cover my fixed expenses first. Let's start with my biggest expense, rent. I pay $1,849 for my no-frills one-bedroom apartment that's about 2 miles from the beach. That is about as low of rent as you're going to find in my area right now because I moved during COVID and I started out paying $1,675 4 years ago, and they can only raise it so much per year, I think. Many one-bedrooms in my area are going for $2,200 plus at the moment, which makes me constantly question how long I want to hold out living in LA, but that's a topic for another video. Anyway, the cost per week comes out to $462.25. For the rest of my fixed expenses, I'm going to get as granular as I can so you get a realistic picture of how much I spend. Some of these I pay monthly and some I pay once a year. Either way, it's all divided by 52. So the first is my health insurance premium, which I currently pay $10.82. This can go up depending on what my income is. Right now my income is a little bit low, so my premium is a little bit lower, which is kind of nice, but I'd rather have the income. I also get insured through Covered California, which does help. My car insurance is $22.46, which I think is pretty standard. Internet is $14.99. Phone is $5.50, and I use Mint Mobile, which I really like, and I'll include a link in the description if you are interested in signing up with them, which I highly recommend. My gas bill comes out to about $10 a month. I basically looked at last year's totals and divided it by 52 as an average. Electric, same thing, is $12.50. The next item is livable, which is average around $10. Livable is a fairly new expense I've paid in the last 2 years. It's a collective of all the apartments in my building where we split water, trash, and sewer, depending on the usage each month. The next expense is Adobe, and I get the monthly subscription at $30 a month, and that includes everything in the Adobe Creative Suite, and that is $7.50. I use Adobe a lot for the type of work I do, so it is essential that I have that. The next thing is Squarespace, where I pay $4.50 a week, and Squarespace is where I have my professional website. The next is Google and Apple storage, that is $5 a week. Pandora, which is $1.50 per week. The next thing is streaming, and right now it's HBO, Netflix, and Discovery Plus. I will probably cancel HBO because I just kind of wanted to do it for a month. I was thinking of watching Game of Thrones, which I never got around to. So right now it is $9.24, but usually it's just Netflix and Discovery Plus. The next thing is Amazon Prime, which is $3.36, and that also includes the ad-free expense, which is something new they added. I think it's $2.99 a month. The next thing is renter's insurance, which is a must-have, and that is $3.92. Followed by Envato Elements at $3.80. Envato Elements is a yearly subscription that I pay, and that is where I get all of my music, stock B-roll, fonts, graphics, etc. for videos that I create. The next thing on the list is Coursera, which is something I'm currently paying for but probably won't be paying for all year, and right now that's $12.25 a week. And right now I'm taking a digital marketing course. The next thing is Vimeo, which I pay $1.15 a week, followed by Film Impact, which is 97 cents a week. Film Impact is a third-party plugin tool that I use for my videos on Premiere. And lastly, we have car registration, which is $4.44. Here is a pretty pie chart from the month of April, which shows my spending ratio, and you can see that rent is a huge chunk at nearly 44% of my spending. Usually a category I call Gen Merchandise eats up the second largest part of the pie, followed by groceries. Both of these categories I have control over and need to work on improving. So let's get into how my week looked with discretionary spending, beginning with Saturday, June 15th. I started my day doing a Nike Training Club workout in my gym, which is free. Yay! After that, I got my hair cut. The woman who cuts my hair always comes to my place, which is convenient, and that cost me $60, including tip. Since my hair is short, I tend to get it cut about every 6 weeks, so I'm glad the cost is fairly reasonable for LA. Next, I headed to the mall, which I almost never go to because I hate shopping, but I needed footage for my previous video and was open to finding a summer top or maybe a cute summer dress. But before I did, I got my car washed for $7. I did end up buying one summer dress for $41.77, but I'm pretty sure I'm returning it, but for now we'll keep it on the list. Later, I met my friend Jen for an early afternoon happy hour drink and paid $6 for parking, which is something I usually try to avoid when I can, and had 2 glasses of Prosecco for $25. I'll let you know that with the exception of Monday night, most of my evenings I usually just chill at home watching TV, where this past week I watched old episodes of The Vampire Diaries and Friends, and later in the week the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader docuseries on Netflix, which was really interesting. So that's what I did Saturday night. Total for Saturday was $139.77, but $98 if I return the dress. On Sunday, I went for a walk on the Hermosa Beach Strand, which is something I typically do, then stopped by CVS on the way home to pick up a lighter for $9.84, then went to Trader Joe's, aka my second home, to pick up some items and spent $30.68. The rest of the afternoon, I did some computer work and chilled. Total for Sunday, $40.52. Monday morning, I did another Nike Training Club workout. Then I shot some footage for my last video, worked the rest of the day, and in the evening, went to my dance studio to the musical theater jazz class, where we are currently learning choreography from a chorus line, which is really fun. I buy a 20-class punch card, which makes each class $18. So my total for Monday was $18. On Tuesday, I went for another walk in Hermosa Beach, did some work again, and did my laundry, which is a coin-operated machine in my building. So my total for Tuesday was only $4. Wednesday, I had my usual intermediate tap class, which again was $18. Then I stopped by the grocery store to pick up a few items and spent $27.09. I did work as usual during the day, but I also purchased tickets to a production of Footloose in Santa Monica in July for $36. Total for Wednesday, $81.09. Thursday was an unusual day because I had to drive to downtown LA to serve jury duty, which nobody loves. I hate driving to downtown, and as I sat in traffic, I was reminded how grateful I am not to have a job where I have to deal with a nasty commute. So I just arrived at the Disney Concert Hall parking lot. Wasn't too bad getting here. It's not about getting downtown. It's about being on the right street for parking, the parking lot. It's always the most complicated part. Anyway, I'm an anxious person, so I am here 1 hour early. So that's okay, because then I can kind of relax, get to the courthouse, get settled in and whatever. But yeah, we made it. They let us out for an hour and a half for a lunch break, so I found a cute place nearby called the Cherry Pick Cafe and spent $24.07 on a sandwich, chips, and soda. The jury selection was pretty wild and was super close to being picked to be on the jury, but thankfully was eventually excused, so I celebrated by buying some ice cream at the store for $2.99. So my total spent for Thursday was $27.06. Finally, on Friday, I booked the Manhattan Beach sand dunes, which cost $3.18, but the sand ended up being way too hot and my feet were burning, so I found my way back to Hermosa again for another walk. In the afternoon, I did some work and did what I called big laundry at the laundromat, which is all of my sheets and towels, for $8.25. I also cleaned my apartment and ordered a book on Amazon because I love my romantasy books, and that was $11.36. So my total spent for Friday was $22.79, which makes my total discretionary spending for the week $333.23. And finally, my discretionary plus fixed expenses comes out to $938.88. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you found it fun and informative. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below, and be sure to subscribe to my channel for other future content. content, and I will see you next time.